Okay, good morning, everybody. That was fantastic, Stuart. And I think, it just constantly, I suppose, brings home to us that we're carrying around in our pockets, this everyday technology that has got such potential to support people to live their lives the way they want to do. So I think that really was a fantastic opening introduction to our day. And I'm sure we'll reflect on some of those examples that Stuart has given. As Nessa said, my name is Margaret Whorisky and I currently head up the Technology Enabled Care programme at Scottish Government. I just noticed from that clip that was shown in Nessa's slide that I'm wearing the same outfit, Joe, that I wore last year. So obviously I take out my summer wardrobe at a particular point in the year. So I hadn't noted that in my diary. So I need to go out and buy more clothes, I think. Anyway, it's my pleasure to be here this morning, and my sort of appreciation to Nessa and the team for putting together a fantastic program, as I'm sure you will agree, and lots of interesting examples of work underway. So I'm sure it'll be a hugely stimulating day, and hopefully the sun will shine, and we'll get out to experience that during our breaks. So I'm usually here to sort of tell you about what's happening in the Technology Enabled Care programme, and I will, but I think there's lots of examples that you'll hear out through the day that will bring that much more alive than I can. So what I want to do is really set some broader context of where Technology Enabled Care is going, and particularly with the work that's going on around the emerging digital health and care strategy for Scotland. A nice picture of our bridges, but I guess this can be used in lots of ways as analogies. We've got our legacy technology, as in the rail bridge, that's still functional and is still required. We have our cutting edge technology of 50, 60 years plus, which really transformed, I guess, travel and communications and all sorts of things in terms of linking Edinburgh with Fife. And we've now just about, I think, to open our new bridge. So that's our New Horizons, sort of looking to the future. So I think with the work we've been doing on technology, I think this has got some relevance. I guess most of you are aware that we published the digital strategy for Scotland in March of this year. And it has a clear objective, which is that digital will be available anytime, any place, any device. Now, we recognise there still are some challenges with connectivity in various parts of Scotland, but I think this objective will make a huge difference to the way we want to use technology in terms of supporting health and care. So that's a really positive aspiration and objective that hopefully will be a reality in the not too distant future. So as I say, it was published in March 2017. It updates and builds on the original 2011 strategy. I think the actions that are set out there in those bullet points are all relevant to the work we're doing on technology-enabled care. And it is a strategy for Scotland. It's not just a Scottish Government strategy. Now, I'm hoping there's 250, 280 people here today, or will be, hopefully, and that's fantastic. And I guess most of you are champions of what we're doing, and I've seen a lot of familiar faces that have been coming for many years now, although, as Nessa said, we're broadening the participants in this. But I think you need to go out and engage with your colleagues, your families, citizens that you're working with, in terms of the opportunities that digital brings. And there's some statistics here that you may be familiar with, but I think sometimes it helps contextualize, like Stuart did, how the world is changing and how we are using digital technology. So use these when you're having a coffee with a friend, or you're having a drink in the evening, or you're chatting to a family relative. Because I think it is really important that people see the opportunities and recognize that we are using technology every day. So a huge change from 2003, 2016 on internet. So I think we all know that. Percentage of adults hugely increased for personal use. Again, some of Scotland's key achievements that have been set out in the digital health and care strategy. We've got much better coverage now within premises of next generation broadband access, 4G coverage, Universities providing lots more computer science courses. Most businesses now have some form of website. Lots of adults, a huge percentage of adults using internet for public services, etc. So again, just some statistics that sometimes just reminds us about how far we've come. We do talk about digital inclusion. I know digital inclusion is not just about age, it's also about other factors. So we do need to be very mindful of the work we're doing, that we do ensure that we have a digitally inclusive society. But I think one of the areas that sometimes is highlighted is the issue about older people, in that we talk about older people being 65 plus, but that covers a huge range of people. But you can see that's the fastest growing demography in terms of using the internet. So I think tablets and iPads and things have brought a huge benefit to people in terms of how they can communicate and connect, and how they can use it to support their health and care. Again, some more statistics. I mean, this is 2015 data, but again, probably this has changed quite significantly over the piece. In a YouGov survey a couple of years ago, would you like to see connected and wearable devices used in healthcare? Again, vast majority of people saying yes. So there's a real appetite for people to be using digital and technology to support their everyday lives, but also to support their health and care. And I think we have a huge opportunity in Scotland around citizen participation, and we have some excellent examples of that across the piece, but we can do more. And I think we are moving with, rather than doing things to people, to be doing things with people, citizens as partners, but more importantly, citizen-led innovation. And again, I think we need to capitalise on those assets that we have here in Scotland and exploit those going forward. So moving on in terms of health and care, Scottish Government conducted a national conversation at the end of sort of 2015. So a number of months, Cabinet Secretaries and their team went out and had conversations with many people across Scotland, asking about what they were looking at for their health and care services. So you can see from some of the words that are here on this slide is people are looking to engage more digitally in accessing health and care. People are looking for online appointments, looking for e-prescriptions, digital reminders, wanting to do more consultations in a virtual way instead of taking lots of time off work and travelling and waiting around waiting rooms to see a clinician possibly for 2 or 3 minutes, wanting to use online information. So again, I think that's another example that people are up for this. In fact, in some ways, people are maybe ahead of our ability to support and provide the services. Scottish Government published a health and care delivery plan in December 2016, and this is really now the umbrella sort of strategy and policy that's guiding health and social care, building on all the other sort of policies and strategies available. And again, you can see that a key enabler in this strategy is around digital technology, being able to transform health and care services to become more person-centred and empowering people to more actively manage their health and care. So I think, as I've said many times before, we have a tapestry of strategies and policies in Scotland around digital technology, e-health. So going back to 2008, we had sort of separate telehealth and telecare strategies. We had separate e-health strategies. We then integrated telehealth and telecare in our delivery plan in 2012. And we had a refreshed e-health strategy in 2011. We published an strategic action plan for tech in August of last year. But importantly, we're now all heading towards this new, ambitious digital health and care strategy for Scotland. We have plenty to build on. And I think we were engaging with people around our oversight strategic group, cross-sector, sort of people from a range of organisations. It is important that we do sort of set out that we are plenty to build on. I won't read all of these out, but you can see them and they'll resonate, I'm sure, with you in many ways. So I was on a teleconference the other evening with an international panel of experts who are going to be providing some advice and critical friend direction to us. And I think they see Scotland in terms of our health and care and our integration and the way we're trying to take this forward is really ambitious. And while they'll be providing some expertise and advice to us, I think they're also looking to learn from us also. So the digital health and care strategy needs to be part of a jigsaw. We need to build on all the other policies and strategies. Also, I think importantly, the social care reform work that's underway, and look at that as being a bit of the glue, how we use digital as an enabler. So success for me would be if I'm standing here or somebody else is standing here in my place in a few years' time, that actually we don't need a digital health and care strategy. We don't need a tech program because it's integrated in the way people are planning and delivering services. And we probably won't even be using the word digital in a number of years to come because it'll just be the way we do everything. So we're at a really important, I think, transition from moving into mainstreaming. This is a sort of, I suppose, a vision statement that we're working on now. Again, I don't know how well you can see that at the back, but we will probably amend this as we go forward. But I think the important thing is that the vision needs to mean something for citizens. It has to be citizen-centred. So what does it mean for me? It means I have access to digital information, tools and services I need to help maintain and improve my health and well-being. I expect my health and social care information to be captured electronically, integrated and shared securely to assist service staff and carers that need to see it. And I expect that digital technology and data will be used appropriately and innovatively to help plan and improve services, enable research and economic development, and ultimately improve outcomes for people. That's a bit sort of wordy, that last one. But I think what I'm trying to get across is we have to set it out in terms of what does it mean for us as citizens. And I guess, you know, we'll hopefully maybe get some smarter words as we go forward. So what will it mean? Now, again, work is just kicking off. We've set up an oversight strategic group. As I said, it includes representatives from all our sectors. We've got an international expert panel. And we have a fairly ambitious aim that we will have a strategy by the end of this calendar year. So we're now into sort of back end of May, so time is moving on. But what will it mean? It means citizens will be at the centre, absolutely first and foremost. We need to make better use of data, health and social care data, but also citizen-generated data. Connected systems around individuals' home and place, and adoption and scale up of what works. And I do think we have to move from the optionality of how people choose to use technology or digital in health and care to much more mandatory. It has to be part of how we work and how we support people going forward. There is a big leadership, I suppose, opportunity here, and we do need to engage our leaders in this. There's a big workforce agenda, and there is a specific workshop on that this afternoon. And we need to have a risk appetite. We need to move away from being risk averse to having a risk appetite. We need to ensure a fertile environment for economic and innovation growth. And again, using some of the guiding principles that we set out in our strategic action plan last year. So on the tech programme itself, well, we're heading towards sort of 50,000 additional people benefiting from technology-enabled care after the second year of the programme. So we're moving into the third year of the funded programme, and that's fantastic. And I think all of you in the room here have probably had a role to play in that, and I think we've got much more we can do. Again, just summarising some of what's been achieved over the last 2 years. The Attend Anywhere service, which is around web browser consultation, was launched just in December. Already there's been 48 formal notes of interest, and the system's functioning in 11 of our territorial boards and their associated health and social care partnerships. Within home health and mobile monitoring, again, there's been huge progress made in the last, I would say, probably 12 to 18 months, because the first 6 months we know were very much lead-in time. So we're now seeing 6,000 plus citizens using home and health mobile monitoring, and that's continuing to expand, and work on the national model as well, I think, is facilitating that. Within telecare, which has been around for many years, but again, I think was very much the basis of how we wanted to take forward some of the work. We're embarked with our local authority colleagues on the analog to digital programme, and again, there's a session on that today. We did some scoping on a universal telecare service about how we can further expand access to telecare, and we hope to sort of publish that report very shortly. Launch of the online telecare assessment tool, and again, encouraging people to go to the tech stand to look at that. National rollout of computer cognitive behavioural therapy. We've also commissioned or about to commission an evaluation of tech, so we hope to have at least phase 1 of that reporting in December. And the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service, who have been a partner in our tech programme, are about to launch their tech safety house, which again is a really interesting development. And there's lots more, and you'll know more about that than I sometimes, but we'll hear many examples as we go forward. People have asked, where's the tech programme going? And as I said, my aim would be that we don't need a tech programme, but I think we recognise that we're still at an important point where we do need to continue to support this at a national level, help create the conditions and provide some support to local areas. And as I say, we're building on some excellent progress to date. So we do want to continue to promote and enable at-scale delivery. We do want to ensure that we open up access and control to citizens. And we do want to focus on looking to the future and our next generation tech. So I'm certainly very committed, working with colleagues in government, to ensure that we do secure some funding going forward. We may have to disseminate it in a slightly different way than we've been doing it in the first 3 years. I think we have a very committed overarching tech programme board chaired by John Burns, Chief Executive of Ayrshire and Arn, who's really given strong leadership to this. And I think we've got, as a real opportunity, working with our colleagues in COSLA, to continue to focus on embedding and supporting tech. And again, as I said, we're moving from tech as a desirable option into embedding tech and then into expand and widespread coverage. So yes, join in our consultation. Mark and Jennifer will be over at the Tech and eHealth stand, and we're looking to engage people on the digital health and care strategy. So there's a little survey that hopefully isn't too taxing for you to complete, but we really want your views and your contributions. And as I say, what I will ask you is, you go out of this room today, hopefully you're already champions, but hopefully you'll take that champion role out, and as I say, continue to engage in the dialogue with colleagues and families and people you're supporting, and hopefully together we will reach those ambitions that we're aiming to get to. Okay, thank you very much.